Hail Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. Today, we're talking about the first two episodes of Murderbot, the new sci-fi show on Apple TV. The episode's entitled Free Commerce and Eye Contact. The show is based on the Murderbot Diaries, a series written by Martha Wells. She serves as the consulting producer on the show. These first two episodes appear to be following the plot of the first book in the series, All Systems Red, written in 2017. We open episode 1 with our protagonist Cyborg, a security or sec unit, played by Alexander Skarsgård, on the mining station Aratake. The miners are all jerks, mistreating our sec unit, who dutifully accepts the abuse. It then hacks into and removes the governor module, making it autonomous, giving it free will. It names itself Murderbot and ponders what adventures it will seek out now that it's free. Cut to Murderbot distractedly guarding a science team while watching endless hours of streaming content on the company feed. It has chosen to keep doing what it was doing so as to avoid getting scrapped as a defective unit. So it is basically pretending to be under control.
Yes.
We end episode 2 with the group he's been guarding deciding to reach out to another survey team on the far side of the planet in order to compare notes on whether the planet is hiding some ancient alien tech. We cut to the second survey team base and see everyone dead, including their sec unit. Unaware of this development, Murderbot's team decides to go visit the dead base in person. Listening in remotely, Murderbot mutters, "What could possibly go wrong?" All that said, Paul.
Yes?
What'd you think of the first two episodes of Murderbot?
Aha. Well, I will take credit for us doing this show.
Yeah, okay.
Because when I saw the trailer for it, I was intrigued. And a friend of mine, he had listened to the audiobooks for this series and suggested it. And so I was like, let me try it out. And in the time of me seeing that trailer and now, I have read the entire series, audiobook, listened to. And so as you were talking, I was like, well, not quite.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I'm giving the haven't seen it to the end quality to the whole thing. Okay, gotcha.
Well, I mean, yes. Well, one thing is that Murderbot still has a unit. He's just hacked it, so it can't affect him. He can't control him anymore. But he still has it, so he's actually in danger if someone were to hack him to get it to work again.
Oh, okay. The governor module?
The governor module, yeah. I should think about some of our governors that we've had in the past to remember.
Okay, so you're saying, in other words, someone could reactivate it, and then he would be under control, is what you're saying?
Yes, because one of the things that is going on is they're talking about some of the systems around them. Like he hacked into a system when he first got down there to make sure that it wasn't notifying anybody that his governor module was deactivated. So, and they've already talked about receiving, packets of information. And so he gets updates and he, decides when he will apply them. So just to make sure that there's nothing that's going to reactivate his governor module.
Well, it's interesting, too, because I guess this is somewhat connected in that a big part of it is, there's the corporation. And the corporation,
yes.
Obviously Murderbot is worried about it because if they figure out, then they'll scrap him. But also, it's interesting because when the team is obviously somewhat paranoid about Murderbot.
Yes.
At first you think, And I think this is partially true. Hey, this thing it could go off and just kill us. We don't know. But it's actually not. It's not really their main problem with it.
No.
By the end of episode 2, their main problem is it's just going to spy on us for the corporation. Like it's a corporate. It's manipulating us for the corporation, and so it was interesting that was their real big problem. It's like, it's a murder bot. It'll kill us maybe, but what's really What really bothers us is it's listening in and it's spying on us. So, anyway. So I kind of like that. Corporations do not get, good press. Let's say in this. Series.
No. Corporations are far more powerful than governments in this this world. So there are a number of things that in my first viewing, I think the way that they were expressed in the show conflicted with my understanding of the books. And I did watch it again. I was like, well, I guess, it was, so, it's, and of course they made changes too. It's funny, I sometimes judge people for being too, in love with, like people are like, oh, the book.
Oh, sure. Hey, it's not like the book. Sure. Yeah. I got you.
And now I'm one of those people. No. I liked it.
Welcome to my world, Paul.
Exactly. It's like, come on,
Rings of power.
Yeah, it's like, this is important, not like Lord of the Rings. I mean, come on. So I liked it, but I'm still adjusting to some of the choices they've made.
Okay. Interesting. We just finished watching Stellan Skarsgård in Andor, and now we get his son in Murderbot.
Yes, I forgot
Alexander. I enjoyed the series. I have a couple of issues with it too, but there are some things that I find it has some good potential. I'll say that.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about it is in the. There's so many different things. For instance, in the diaries that Martha wrote, she never goes into she. talks about the stories in the series that shows that he watched, but you don't get any dialogue or anything,
Oh, okay. Is that okay? So here we get the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon. You're saying we reference it in the books, but we don't see an episode. Or
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of the events from the first episode where, by the time the series starts, he's already hacked his governor module. So we don't see him before his governor module. And we don't see the meeting where they are told that they need to get a sec unit. We don't see that. He just refers to...
Got you. They use that, I assume, for exposition, right?
Because they go into a, definition of what a governor module... Don't worry, you don't have to worry... When... Everybody knows what sex units are, so they probably don't need to be here about, you have all these bots running around. They have somebody in their crew who's augmented. They don't need to be told about governor modules.
You're talking about the exposition. I thought sometimes,
Yes, that was for the audience, not for the people they were talking to.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And obviously there's the trope of, hey, we're getting an internal monologue. And that's our narration from Murderbot.
Right.
And I think it's really effective.
Oh yeah.
When we hear what he's really thinking.
Yeah.
Like when Garathan orders Murderbot to make eye contact.
Yes.
That's the title.
Yes.
And says there you go, it's not so bad. And we cut. Murderbot's thinking, it was so bad. So that works great,
yes.
and you get the satire, and you get all the comedy from that.
Yes.
I feel like in the beginning, in particular, when they used the inner monologue for exposition, it felt clunky. It was a little clunky. I'll just say that. But it really is on point when you're getting in real time Murderbot's feelings.
Yeah, no, it's since it was designed that way, it's hard to think about doing it without having that monologue, because it's so essential to the actual, everything you learn about him.
So our survey team, or our science team, I should say,
right,
is 6 members, and it's led by Mensa.
Yes.
Who we learn has a strong moral code, worries about Murderbot's autonomy, and also suffers from incapacitating panic attacks.
Yeah, that's an addition for the show.
Oh, okay. All right. We have a couple, Pin Lee and Arada, who are in a relationship. And then we have Rathi, who seems to also be in that relationship. So interesting there. The social dynamics of that group. We have Bharadwaj, and then we have Garathan, It was this augmented human being played by David Desmalchian, Polka Dot Man.
Oh, right. I'd forgotten that he was Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad.
Yeah. So that is my most interesting area of exploration at the moment, is the relationship between Garathan and Murderbot.
Right.
Because I think Garathan dislikes Murderbot, and he seems to dislike him, because he sees himself in Murderbot.
Yeah.
He's outside the group as well. He's augmented.
Yes.
Murderbot's kind of like one step removed, maybe, from him, but it's the same idea. The group, in the beginning when the group all gets together for a group hum, and they're humming together, and he has to get brought into that circle.
Yeah. I don't feel like that is something from the books, but yes, I think they wanted to make a point about them. It's funny. As a point of criticism, I feel like a point of contrast to, say, Severance, where the social mores and extremes at the time of, their dinner party without a dinner.
Oh, right. Yep.
That's a far more subtle thing than, let's hum together to get, that's
I got
a little, it's harder, I think, to, that's a little more simpler and obvious form of parody. I think they could have found a more subtler way to satirize them. They got them dancing later on, so, and painting the thing. It's like, oh my gosh. All right.
I mean, I suppose it does the job of, first they're quirky, but they're also it is a positive relationship example, I think, for Murderbot. I think that's part of that nature versus nurture. We have essentially like childlike Murderbot, because Murderbot's got a free will of sorts, and so Murderbot is getting this example. He even mentions, I got another group that I got to guard, but at least they're not psychopaths.
Yes.
And so I feel like they're giving an example of people that actually care for each other.
Yeah.
And aren't the minors that they're having him burn his hand in the beginning.
Yeah, they gave us in that meeting the explicit expression that where they're from, they view these bots or whatever as persons.
Yeah. Now it's interesting because I assume, I don't know this. We have augments, so we have people like, I'm a person that has a few additions. Then you have cyborgs that are like, hey, I'm mostly robotic, but I also have human skin and a face.
Right.
I assume maybe, do they also have robots? Or they're also like, hey, I'm not a human in any way. I don't know. If they did, I wonder if that group would consider robots to be, it's kind of like what was that, Measure of a Man? Was it Data from Next Generation, that episode where they were like, is Data sentient or not?
Right.
So I feel like in this case they're drawing the line to say, look, cyborgs are sentient, and we don't think they should be enslaved. It's a cool plot point to have.
Yes.
Entity that has been basically enslaved forever, now being put in an environment where, the rules have changed, and I'm trying to grasp. And also there's that sense of struggling for acceptance. I think that's really where this show will potentially rise, to something really, really cool. It's more like you can imagine Murderbot just being an outsider. Hey,
sure.
This is an established group.
Right.
And I'm really awkward, and I don't know how to interact with these people. And I feel like there's a lot of people like that. You're that person that comes into a group, and you're like, how do I talk?
Yes.
We see that with Garathan. He's trying to communicate with Mensa. She's come back from this really harrowing experience, and she has panic attacks. So she's probably just like, I want to be alone. But he's trying to talk to her, and you can tell, like, he's so desperate to like say the right thing, and he's not. And like that. So that quality, I think, is really interesting, and to put it in the mind of a newly freed cyborg unit, I think is really where this show can shine.
Yeah. There's certainly I feel as if in the books, I mean, it's a book, so you have plenty of time to sort of explore all sorts of characters. Even though it's told from Murderbot's perspective, you still get a sense of these characters. But, I think Garathan is really figuring in some ways more prominently than he does in the books.
Oh, okay. All right.
And even though, yes, a dichotomy or the contrast to Garathan and Murderbot is in the books. It's like, one thing that I found interesting about when I started to look into it. Martha Wells, the author of it, was saying that she didn't know the extent to which she was neurodivergent until she started writing it.
Okay.
And so, all the things that you know about people who are neurodivergent in terms of how much they like to be touched or whether they like to have eye contact with people and how they like to socialize, or the act of socialization can be stressful and they want to try to avoid social situations in many cases. You could certainly see the whole thread of the show being sort of trying to be empathetic and more understanding.
Agreed, and to good effect. So we mentioned the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon. So they come back to it a couple of times in here, and it has a pretty damn good cast.
Yes, it does.
You've got Jack McBrayer, you got Clark Gregg, you got John Cho. Sulu is like a captain. It looks like. So it feels like it's a sci-fi soap opera, although I suppose by Murderbot standards, it's a modern day soap opera. So it would be like General Hospital or something. In our context, it's like, oh, right. Look. So I assume Murderbot will be learning some kind of life lessons from the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon.
You already saw one in the first episode where, the thing that Garathan was suspicious of was the bit of dialogue that he pulled.
Yeah, the bit of dialogue that he grabbed from the show, right. Yeah. What's your name or whatever? Where are you from?
Yeah.
And Alexander Skarsgård does an excellent job of playing this individual that is obviously not used to interacting and is having a really difficult time figuring out all of the little, trying to pretend to be human.
Yes.
Point actually, or pretend to be a robot. Actually,
that's right. Yeah, he's trying to. It's trying to. I know I'm going to do that a lot.
I should say it. Yeah, I know. I was doing the same thing. Yep.
It's trying to hide the fact that it's that it's got independence, and so it can do whatever it wants. So it's always like, it's saying, am I giving away that I have, independence? So I must do this thing because that's what a bot would do.
Make eye contact. It didn't have to in that moment, but it's like, in order to maintain the facade, we'll do this really difficult thing. Also, we get this sense that Murderbot's got some memories. It had looks like it had its memory wiped. And so there's something in the background that perhaps was the reason why it got wiped.
Yeah. Another thing that happens in this episode is a bit of a, you were talking about the relationship it's actually beginning between Pinley, Rathi, and Arata. Yep. I'm wondering, I don't remember that from the books. I mean, maybe they described it in a way where it wasn't, acting it out the way we see with the contracts and everything. Those contracts I didn't see that in the books. But, it's interesting, though, if they actually decide to have it be a successful three-way relationship.
Or will there be some kind of personal difficulties?
Right, like, that if Pinley and Arata have to break up as a result of it, or,
Right.
Because one of the things in the show, in the books, we'll see if it's the case with this show, is Mensa is in a marriage of three people. So we saw that she has 7 kids, but we have not seen her spouses yet. So we'll see if that's something that survives in the show. And we don't really, there's not a lot of, scenes between those extra spouses anyway, but still.
Right, because they're not on the planet, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, okay. So it should be like, hey, I'm video conferencing or something with them or whatever.
Yeah, but so I liked it enough, and I think they're doing a good enough job. So yeah, I'm trying to adapt to the adapters.
Okay. One note I should say is these episodes are 30 minutes or so, or 25 minutes in length. So they're shorter.
Right.
It's kind of like the Mandalorian kind of did that thing where it's like,
It certainly has a comedic bent, so you can understand why they would want to make it the comedy size.
Right. Yes. There is. Right. Good point. Yeah, I'm intrigued and looking forward to episode 3. We'll be back talking about episode 3 of Murderbot. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye.